Hello, this is a video I'm making for 12th grade, and it's really the first video of the second semester. I'll make one every day. They'll usually be about 5 to 10 minutes long, and they'll go over what we did in class and what any homework is that you need to complete, or what I like to call writing practice. So Tuesday, February 2nd, here are the slides. You can click on that to see what we did in a more specific way. We went over Schoology, how to find things there, Zoom and expectations of Zoom. I didn't actually end up doing this in class. It's just tips. You can click on it if you need help organizing your files on your computer. And then we talked about our structure for doing writing practice, which is going to be a big Google Doc. And the first entry is the last part of class, where you'll respond to Benjamin Franklin in your big Google Doc, designing your own education. So let me get into that a little bit more specifically. I'm going to go over to my slides and show you where I get all of this. If you go to Schoology, this is your page. The very first thing you'll see listed is your big Google Doc. Everything you do in my class happens in the big Google Doc. Every single thing. And we'll get into that today. Of course, our Zoom link, and then you'll see the agenda I just showed you. It's always going to be posted on the home page, and then below that is a weekly objectives document, which is basically the daily agenda, but for the week. So you can see everything that will happen that week. So if I click here on the slides, it's going to open up our week 1 slideshow. So you're going to see Miss Levine on this, and if you're watching this video from section 3, my 3rd block class, she co-teaches with me in 2nd block, so don't worry about it so much. I talked a little bit about myself, and Miss Levine introduced herself too. So here's a couple of slides about me, who I am, teaching you in this class. I have been at Monticello for 9 years. This is my 9th year there. I was not there last year because I was on leave when I had a baby, so you might not have seen me as 11th graders, but I never left, really. I grew up in St. Louis, but I moved out here to Charlottesville to go to UVA, and I kind of got sucked in. I love this town and this area. I've always gotten pulled back to teaching, so I tried other things right out of college, but I loved teaching always. And so I went and got my master's when I was like 26. I didn't do it immediately. I met my husband there. He teaches at Charlottesville High School. So we both teach, and my whole family is teachers, so I have a little bit about that. My mom's here. She's an elementary principal. My dad's a high school math teacher. My sister's here, and here are elementary teachers. My brother Mickey is a high school PE teacher. My brother Kyle is a college professor. So everybody has teaching in some way as part of their life, and it's all I talk about when I'm with my family. I always want to be better and improve, and that's going to be a huge part of how I seek your advice and want to know how we can partner together to make this a successful semester, especially as odd as the semester is for you. Here's my family when I'm not with you all. I'm with these kids and my husband. These are the important people for me. So Miss Levine, if you're in 2nd block, talked about her family. I don't want to speak too much for her, but you can read what she wrote here. I'll add that she's actually taught for 4 years now at Monticello because she started in January, and that she doesn't have that kitten Hazel anymore because her daughter was allergic, but she's also really proud of relationships that she builds with kids, and you know that already if you've met Miss Levine. And here are pictures of her family. Oh my goodness. So if you're in our 2nd block, we're your teachers. If you're in my 3rd block, it's just me. We did some interactive activities. I'm going to skip through that if you're watching this video, and talked about what does it mean to be in this class. I have a couple of things I want you to know though. I think it is totally possible to do this work asynchronously as long as it's successful for you. Success looks like you're able to consume the videos every day and know what we did. And then you'll stay on top of your big Google Doc writing practice so that it doesn't become overwhelming. If you feel comfortable watching videos to see what we did and doing the writing practice independently, then by all means, you may certainly do that. We had a lot of students last semester who did that, and they had mixed success, but some students had phenomenal success with that. I think it's worth saying that 100% of the students we surveyed said that coming to class was helpful. By now, you probably know whether or not you can be successful in this environment without going to your Zoom classes. So we ask you to be reflective about that and make a decision that's going to set you up for success and then not so much stress this semester. So there's that. If you do come to Zoom, I will treat this as a volunteered space. You are giving us your time and we will honor it. We will always go for the first 45 minutes of synchronous time and dismiss you after those 45 minutes so that you can do our writing practice. We will not use asynchronous time for in-class together work. That's not what it's for. It's your time. I will never call on you in our class and require you to speak in Zoom. I may say hello to you individually, but you can always choose not to say hello back, or you can chat me privately. I will respect your desire to stay silent and muted and to keep your camera off. At the same time, if you are somebody who doesn't mind speaking in Zoom, it is always more fun and interactive if we have students participating out loud for the same reasons that that's fun and interesting in school. So we'll make room for both kinds of students in here, of course. Those are my couple of things I wanted to say about the class and coming to class. Basics. Schoology I've already gone through a little bit. Our semester looks the same as last semester. I have one of you all for the second block class from 11:15 to 12 o'clock will be the end of our sync time. And then my third block class, I'll see you all from 1:15 to 2 o'clock. And then you'll move into your async time. Except for, of course, Fridays. You can see about our office hours there. A little bit about senior year, since I have all seniors. There is not going to be as much school for you this semester as there was last. Our last semester was 19 weeks. This one is going to be like 14 weeks, maybe 13, maybe 15. It's not going to be nearly as long. So we have a lot less time, and that means we get to cherry pick and do our favorite things from the fall semester and drop some of the things that weren't as successful. So it should be a lot of fun, but it will be packed. There are no materials for English at this time. We will use digital texts. If you ever have questions about school, not English class, but like in general, school, please feel free to ask me. And Miss Loving, we both love supporting the whole student and not just the English student. I am the senior class sponsor along with Mr. Southall. So I'll be helping plan graduation, helping with whatever it is that our senior year is going to look like. If you have questions about that, it is my job to know the answers. Now, we're going to move into the big Google Doc if you're watching this video, and I'm emphasizing what it means and how to access it. And then I'll give you your assignment. So to access it, you go to Schoology and you click on the big Google Doc. And then you write one week or week 1 at the top, Tuesday, February 2nd. You actually might find that it's already there because we edited it yesterday, Tuesday. It's confidential, this document. It is a catch-all. It is required. This is how all of our work is done. It's about 6 points a day, 3 days a week. So 18 points a week all comes through this big Google Doc, and that will be your entire grade. There will be some larger assignments, but you'll write them in the big Google Doc as well. So you're going to get really familiar with this. And the first assignment we have is a reading from the Savages, which is just shorthand for Benjamin Franklin's remarks on the savages of North America. I'll tell that story in a minute, but first I'm going to open the big Google Doc. So here, if I go up to big Google Doc, I will be able to see everybody has opened their document using Schoology. You will be able to open this through Schoology, but you'll also be able to open it on Google Drive, and that's really nice. So you can get to it from your phone if you have Google Drive installed. It should just be a lot more manageable than using constant Schoology assignments. So here's what it looks like to start. Tuesday, February 2nd. This was yesterday's class. Your first piece of writing practice is to design your own education. What would you study? What would the school day look like? I'm looking for 2 to 3 sentences from you. This is a chance for me to get to know you and your values, what you like about school, what you don't. And it's also a chance for you to reflect on a bigger idea that's in the reading. The reading I'm going to do real fast here with Benjamin Franklin's The Savages, and we can find it linked on the agenda. and I'll tell you the story. So basically, Benjamin Franklin was really interested in American Indians. American Indian, by the way, is the term that most American Indians prefer over Native Americans. American Indians at the time were living in this land and had for many thousands of years. Benjamin Franklin was curious about their culture and wanted to know how they could work with these colonists who had come over. So he invited, I'm going to scroll down to the yellow part, about a dozen of them to come join him at William and Mary College. And he said, we'll pay for your education. We'd like you to be educated at our colleges and see what it is that you think of America as it's beginning to be born. And this is what the Indians said in response. So it starts here. Their speaker, which is the Indian that they elected to speak for them, began by expressing the deep sense of kindness of the Virginia government in making the offer, because he knows you really esteem the kind of learning taught in your colleges. And the maintenance of our young men when they're with you would be really expensive. So thank you. We are convinced that you want to do good things with this idea, and we are thanking you heartily. But you who are wise must know different nations have different conceptions of things. And you will therefore not take it amiss if our ideas of the kind of education happen not to be the same as yours. We've had some experience of it. Several of our young people have gone to your colleges. They were instructed in your sciences, but when they came back to us, they were bad runners, ignorant of every means of living in the woods, unable to bear cold or hunger, knew not how to build a cabin, take a deer, kill an enemy. They spoke our language imperfectly and were therefore neither fit for hunters, warriors, or counselors. They were totally good for nothing. We are, however, not the less obliged by your kind offer, but we decline accepting it. And to show our grateful sense, if this gentleman of Virginia will send us a dozen of their sons, we will take great care of their education, instruct them in all we know, and make men of them. So I love this reading because you have in the 1700s an American Indian saying, the way we educate our youth and the way that we value our education is as important as yours, but it is different than yours. And your education that you designed had no value for us. Now we might have value for you. There is not one way to educate a child, and you at the end of your high school career might know this. There is not a right way. Our question for you today is, what would be your way? So fill out your big Google Doc, please, and that will be all. We will see you on Wednesday.